Hello everybody. Get on to the new raids and quest. Still no camera today just because it's still warm as heck, and I don't want to deal with having all the lighting on. I just want to sit here in the dark with my fan. I don't know how to say that. Claudine? Claudine's eyes are brimming with the excitement of discovery. Celestria! Celestria! I've made a breakthrough! After uncountable days and nights, I finally hearkened to the crystal's whispers, and I must say... Professor Claudian, where are your manners? While I understand all too well your enthusiasm, I must remind you that even the most academically inclined prefer a composed recounting of events. Ah, yes, of course. My apologies, Celestria. Being consumed by my research for so long, I'm afraid I've quite forgotten how to engage in civilized conversation. Probably not something you should forget how to do, like, unless you haven't talked to anybody at all in, like, a year. In that case, perhaps we should start from the beginning. With a crystal set adrift upon the ethereal tides containing the memories of a party yet unknown. They cried out for deliverance from Pandemonium, where the ancients kept volatile creatures under lock and key. You yourself witnessed the power devouring the facility from within, and the advent of a divine monstrosity wrought of mythic beast and powerful mage. Fortunately, your martial prowess and the combined magical talents of your companions, Themis and Erithanios, was sufficient to restore order to the circles of Asphodelos, but the greater threat remains. Sorry, clearing my throat. In the depths of Pandemonium, a present yet stirs, its intentions and identity shrouded in mystery. That is the issue at hand, is it not? Since you returned to us, we worked tirelessly to discern the nature of the crystal. In the process, I detected an anomalous etheric signature, which I believe arose from the memories stored within. Analysis of this pattern suggested a feeling of loss or yearning, specifically the yearning to be made whole, and indeed ambient readings have revealed a faint but identical signature. This can only mean that another such crystal exists in our time. So, my friend, I must depart to search for it forthwith. By tracing the matching etheric signature to its source, I believe it will be a simple matter to find our crystal's twin. Professor, will this expedition carried out only by us, or will Celestria grace us with her protection? I'm afraid she has more pressing matters to attend to, my dear Rusinad. Namely, to seek out the secrets which lie nestled within Pandemonium where this all began. From all that we have heard, it appears that time traversal from the Crystal Tower is not fluid. That is to say, one can but travel in predetermined intervals. It would be prudent to check it on occasion, in case there are any unanticipated changes. As for you, my loyal assistants, I would ask you to remain here and continue cataloging the ancient creations. You can't mean, do you intend to search for the crystal on your own? Why yes, that would be the most efficient use of resources, would it not? In fact, I have already commissioned a ship and pilot for that very purpose. I trust you to take good care of the laboratory in my absence. I apologize for that somewhat abrupt departure. When progress is in sight, Professor Claudian tends to become blind to all else. Indeed, and he has been worse than usual. While I cannot fault him for his excitement, I do wish he would spare a thought for those around him. For reasons unknown, the crystal seems loath to be overheard. Much as it spoke only to you last time, none but the professor has been able to capture its ethereal yearning, which has served only to convince him that he can solve this puzzle on his own. Surely after some time alone, he'll come to remember how valuable we are. The search for this crystal seemed to be simple enough matter. Let him have his adventure, and upon his return, I'm certain he'll be back to his usual self. As for you, Celestria, it may be best to return to Pandemonium, as Professor Claudian suggested. Speaking of which, I did have a request of my own to make. Traveling to Pandemonium requires you pass through Abyssos, correct? There is something I would have you investigate in my stead. While those creations confined within Pandemonium are considered to be failures, I doubt that's their whole story. Barring exceptional cases, they must have been under observation in Abyssos before being consigned to their shackles, and if we know anything about the Ancients, it's that they would have kept thorough records of the results. Ah, brilliant. Delving into these records may shed light on the creatures Celestria has yet to encounter, if your theory proves correct, that is. While there are no guarantees, it certainly beats the current strategy of rushing forward blindly, with only her strength to carry the day. For your own sake as well as ours, please unearth what information you can. My butt back to Elpis. Talk to, is it Thermus? It's been way too long since, thought about the names in that. You seek records on Pandemonium's creations? Master Themis has just finished perusing the very same. I should not be surprised that we both arrived at the same conclusion. Luckily, I have saved you the trouble and gleaned what information I could. Ah, so you know each other. I was dreading having to once again scour the archives, but perhaps instead I'll rest for a spell. If there's nothing else, I shall take my leave. As should we, for I have undone the warding sigil blocking the entrance to Abyssos. I came here merely to chase an idle suspicion while awaiting your return. Fortunately, while Pandemonium's protective wards continue to be assailed by our unknown foe, there have been no fluctuations so great as to make me doubt Eric Thanios' capacity to watch over Asphodelos while I'm away. He works diligently to master internment that we might deliver the creations back to their cages by his own hand. I thought it best to give him the time to hone his craft. And since fate has brought us both here, I would ask you to accompany me while I attend to another matter. More idle suspicions that I would like to chase down. Rest assured, it shall not take long. I simply have a few questions to ask an acquaintance of mine. Come, as he has agreed to meet us near the newest? The newest? Is that supposed to mean entrance? The newest to Pandemonium. Oh, that one's below me, huh? All the way over there. Oh, it wasn't that far down. I don't know why it would put the arrow there. so far I've enjoyed the story. I mean, I've done all the MSQ, as you can see. The raid story probably has more put into it than you would assume at first glance. I specifically recall someone who was like researching like Greek and other gods in like that area of the world, and they're like all named after things like that. As I have pondered our expedition into Pandemonium, I could not help but be mystified by how strongly the warders we encountered felt for La Habrea, whether it be for good or ill. Hesperos and Erichthonios were two sides of the same coin. The former looked to his mentor with absolute devotion, while the latter looks to his father with bald hatred. I would not expect a familiar such as you to understand this, but such extreme emotions toward a single individual are quite rare indeed. Naturally, I feel gratitude towards my mother and father, yet we are all equals in the larger picture of the star. This view is not unique to myself, it is more or less accepted as the way of things. By contrast, the researchers of Pandemonium seem to view La Habrea with a feeling approaching obsession. Whether driven by love or hate, they all have been drawn to him. There were many other aspects of the facility's particulars I found troubling besides. I decided the best course of action would be to go straight to the source, and pose my questions to a member of the words of La Habrea. What? My apologies to keep you waiting, Master Themis. I understand you are conducting an investigation of Pandemonium and wish to know of its origins. Indeed. In particular, I wish to know why exactly Pandemonium was built, directly under Elpis. The facility is overseen by the words of La Habrea, after all. Why keep it so close to Elpis, whose governing body has no say in its day-to-day operations? At first I thought it to be simply a matter of convenience. Those creations which were deemed failures by the researchers of Elpis could easily be ushered into their new homes. Imagine my surprise when a trip to the archives revealed that many of the creations were sent from organizations beyond Elpis, including from the words of La Habrea themselves. Given this, albeit limited, information, I cannot but feel that the academia and I can never fucking remember how to say that. Anierder would have been a more fitting locale. What does Elpis have that cannot be found there? These are fitting questions, and one we have asked ourselves many times in recent years. Alas, the nature of Pandemonium's construction does not lend itself to relocation. When first it was built, circumstances weren't as they are now. As you surmise, the majority of creations kept within Pandemonium were sent from Elpis. Yet, as the years passed, interests changed. Failures in creations deemed too flawed even to submit to Elpis paradoxically drew the attention of Pandemonium's researchers. That is quite the change, and in fact, it almost runs counter to the facility's original purpose. Who is it that decides which creations will be the subject of research? Master La Habrea. Such authority is reserved for the chief keyword, and he has taken it upon himself to step into that role. So if Pandemonium's resources were being misused, it would be under La Habrea's authority, correct? I know not what you're suggesting, but the keywords also hold some sway within the facility. Not even Master La Habrea would be free from their scrutiny. They are duty-bound to report any irregularities as soon as possible. Although I admit as of late their communication has been somewhat sporadic, we but recently retrieved a report from one of the keywords stating that all is well within Pandemonium's halls. Really? And you're certain that a keyword sent it? Yes, of course. Our communication suffered a temporary obstruction, but I can assure you that the words did their due diligence in confirming the identity of the sender. Thank you. This information will be helpful to my investigation. That will be all for my prying. Then I shall take my leave. While you are yet permitted to conduct your investigation freely, I must remind you that the warder's work is delicate, and it would be remiss to disturb them for longer than is necessary. He's lying to me. All is well. A blatant lie. And to that we can both attest. One of the remaining keywords is certainly in league with the party behind this. Let us hurry. I know not why our adversaries sent that report, but 'tis plain that we must return to Pandemonium with haste. What is news? Neus? N-E-U-S? What the fuck is that word? I cannot guess as to why this false report has arisen now, but it certainly bodes ill, as does the knowledge that our mysterious mastermind has at least one more keyword to puppet. Regardless, they have tipped their hand, and we would be remiss to leave Erechthanios at the mercy of their machinations. Let us hope no harm has befallen him. Not quite. I've traced these sigils countless times, yet still I lack the strength to maintain the spell. And now time works against me. I can no longer be victim to my own ineptitude. What? Who goes there? There is something to be admired in such single-minded effort, even if your methods leave much to be desired. You allowed this familiar to catch you unawares. Have you set your sights so high as to forget you walk upon the earth? I know this creature, a familiar of the Phoenix, but that monster is locked away. That it is, in spite of the trouble I went to in freeing it, I might add. Begrudge me for addressing you in this ill-fitting form, if you must, but with control of Asphodelos wrested from my grasp, 'tis simply the best I can offer you. Hide if you will, but mark my words, I will find you and make you pay for the chaos you've sown. Now, there is no need for such hostility. A calm heart stays the course, the wisdom of La Habrea, your father. And how would you know what wisdom he speaks? I have heard those words many times, the scolding of a tutor whose students struggled to grasp the most rudimentary lessons, seething with disgust. No. I've not told that to anyone, not even keyword Hesperos. That can only mean one thing. That still you insist on mocking me. Stop this farce, La Habrea! At last you move to keep up. Pity that you remain behind, nevertheless. As ever you are, ever you fail to learn. Fail to understand, fail to act. And though fate deigned to offer an escape, you remain here. You are bereft of magical prowess and common sense both. But you need not despair. Dull though you may be, you are yet indispensable to Pandemonium's great experiment. There's an affection I remember. Tell me, did you ever once measure up to your expectations? You shall. Take pride in that, and rejoice to see your wish fulfilled. What? What wish? Come, and all shall be revealed. All this rage, this hatred is but a consequence of ignorance. Our desires align more than you know. What are you? Uninvited guests join our reunion. It seems fortune no longer favors you. Do you think I have any interest in listening to your prattle, let alone bowing to your will? I am no longer a child, and my faith lies with those who have earned it. So these are the heroes who brought Hesperos low. Even his power divine flowed through his veins. 'Tis plain there are worthier subjects to contend with. Thank you. If you had shown up even a moment later, I shudder to think what would have become of me. There's something I must tell you. I know who's behind this. There is but one person who can hold thrall over familiar, creation, and keyword alike. Erictanios is certain he knows the identity of Pandemonium's assailant. And so there can only be but one conclusion. La Habrea was the driving force behind this chaos from the start. There is logic to that. There are few who, with the wherewithal to even consider experimentation on such a scale, let alone the capacity to create demigods from man and beast, with the rest of us none the wiser. Considering the magnitude of his work with the Convocation and the Words, his relatively minor role as the chief keyword comes under little scrutiny, even as it provides him the authority to wield dangerous magics. It may serve as well as veil and mantle both. Still, I find the notion hard to accept. The misdeeds perpetrated here could not have been done by the La Habrea I know. You have met him, yes? Do you think he's capable of this? I met him 40 levels ago. Oh, I really, like, from A Realm Reborn. Was he the one who kicked the cabbage? I don't remember what they're fucking called. And then kidnapped Menphilia. Is he? So you believe La Habrea to be a man of few scruples, if it brings his goals closer than reach? That alone should be enough, but let me assure you, La Habrea holds nothing so dear as his own ambition. While he may not be one to let emotions stand in the way of his mission, I cannot believe there are no depths to which he would not stoop. Although we met but briefly, the impression he left on me stands in stark contrast to your evaluation. Though his methods are ever unorthodox, they seemed guided by a firm understanding of what is just. There's one way to find out for certain. We delve deeper into Pandemonium and pull back the curtain on this mystery ourselves. A wise choice. I would not deny the truth if I saw it with my own eyes, even if it was discomforting to behold. Then we must move forward with no excess of caution. La Habrea, or whoever is behind this, has likely spread their tentacles to every corner of Pandemonium. We can safely assume the other keywards won't greet us with open arms. Agreed. Let us make our way through Abyssos, one careful step at a time. I shall stay by Erichthonius' side, in case our enemies think to target him again. Could I trouble you to take the vanguard? I am a paladin. Thank you. As a precaution, I shall safeguard you with a simple spell. This will ensure that even should you become separated, my phantom warriors will still come to your aid. If it does come to battle, the keyword's magic will put us at a disadvantage once again. Luckily, we have you to even the scales somewhat. I trust you shall be liberal with your weight. Get me the heck in there. While the identity of Pandemonium's assailant is yet unknown, Erichthania... Oh, no. Should have known. I didn't get in immediately as a tank, so I thought I had a little bit of time. Now they're just teleporting us. That's not good. Oh, that music. I kind of want to turn this up. The carbuncle, eh? I kind of thought that was going to be one of the Criterion bosses. That's always been fun, huh? That looked sideways from how it was pointing. What the fuck? That was weird. What? Oh, that is weird. Oh, he's just dead. Oh, that's both healers. And I like doubled the volume in my headphones for that. That was great. The mechanics take a second to realize what in the heck is going on, but the teeth thing moving around was what confused me the most. I was like, what am I looking at? I'm not really sure what I feel like trying to get. Maybe I'll try to get boots and hams. Okay. Oh god, why did that... the heck? My game just stalled for a second there. So, this is where research is conducted on creatures imbued with poisons and venoms. Eric Thanios and I were conveyed not far from here. It seems our foe is finding it more difficult to surprise us. Fortunately for you, since they appear particularly keen to see you dispatched as quickly as possible. Even alone, you are a force to be reckoned with. Part of me is glad you emerged victorious, that I might observe you further. Were the circumstances different, I might thank you for keeping my son alive for this long, but I believe we can forego introductions unless I have misread you. Paragon. A charming appellation, but I'm afraid I hold no such position. No, I am La Habrea of the Convocation of 14. If you truly are who you claim to be, then answer this question. That can wait. What is this? Now, this is curious. The trap I wove at your feet reacts to aether, but you remain unaffected. Such thin aether, and an unfamiliar composition besides. It is of no matter, I suppose. A more direct approach will beget the same results. I would advise you to think carefully before deciding your next action. Strike me down here, Erechthanios' wishes shall remain unfulfilled. Never again shall he meet Athena. Mother, you would dare hide behind her name? Listen where, Erechthanios. We are of the same mind concerning your mother. You have your allies for protection. So what harm is there to hearing me out? Erechthanios, wait. There is a question I must needs ask first. If you truly are La Habrea, why speak such blatant lies? Bitter in defeat, are we? Say my name. A simple request. Themis, was it? A trifle soon forgotten, as are you. I have my answer. The La Habrea that I knew took pride in the convocation and would never suffer its denigration. Not a word I see very often. That looked weird. You sully his station with his farce. Themis, what are you saying? La Habrea and I hardly saw eye to eye, but I knew his voice when I hear it. Indeed, he makes a passing fine imitation in appearance and manner. However, the real La Habrea would never call me by the name Themis. What trouble have you gotten yourself into, Abyssos? Imposter. You have no right to claim that form, that mask. What? Who? 'Twas a mask that sickened me to wear. The mask of La Habrea, a man who values his position above all, who would murder his own wife in pursuit of duty. Yet you would assume my name and wield powers that are mine by right. Any worth you may have hinges on which you so despise. Such trite provocations. I shall not be goaded into finishing this ere my work is done. Erechthanios, listen well. I am Hephaestos. God damn it, the names. And it is I whom you should call father. What in the name of creation? We would do well not to stand idle while our enemy is about. I believe an explanation is in order. Elidibus, let us return to safety so you may provide it. That sounds more like the La Habrea I know. That's Elidibus. Before we depart, however, I must offer you an apology. As La Habrea said, I am Elidibus, one of the convocation and emissary of their will. For reasons which do not involve you, it was necessary to hide my identity while investigating this place. Still, that hardly excuses my deception. I know a thing or two about deception myself. That is reassuring to hear. The burdens we bear are heavy enough without adding a grudge to their weight. In any case, we have pressing matters to attend to. Let us do as La Habrea suggested and return to the gates. We can speak there. Please, help him. Save him. Such a vexing composition of aether you possess. As you are aware of by now, I am known as Elizabeth. After my dear friend Azem and I detected irregularities in Pandemonium, we decided the best course of action would be to hide my station as I conducted my investigation. I am sure La Habrea as well is eager to find out why I hid who I was, so I shall save that story for later. First, I would like to speak of you, my friend. Although neither Azem nor I had ever met with you in flesh, you came in her highest recommendation. That alone was enough for me to accept you as an ally without question. That somewhere in the world a guiding star so similar to herself was out there amused Azem to no end. There was not a shade of doubt in her heart that you would be a formidable ally. Furthermore, I have heard stories that Mistress Vana, who held the position of Azem previously, journeyed with a familiar, much like yourself, that made the decision to trust you all the easier. She too now dons the white robe of an advisor. If she placed her absolute faith in you, I knew I would be in capable hands. Aware though I was of the path you would walk, I had no interest in exposing you. I merely wanted to meet you, to travel by your side for a while. I may know but a small portion of your whole story, but that is enough for me to believe you would never lead me astray. I wanted to tell you that. Why are these all 9s? Why are you giving me 9s? I don't care about 9s. Damn you and your 9s. Eric Thanios is resolutely avoiding his father's eyes. I don't know how long it's been since we last spoke, La Habrea, and truth be told, I had hoped we never would again. But I see now that I was a fool to think I would ever escape your meddling. Just what is that thing that called itself La Habrea, and why is he spinning an image of your younger self? I find it hard to believe you've only just now found out such a being was wreaking havoc in Pandemonium. Do you think matters would simply sort themselves out? I suppose you deserve at least a cursory explanation. I was well aware of the anomalies occurring within Pandemonium, including the fact that Azem and Elidibus had taken it upon themselves to investigate. I saw no reason to insert myself into the situation, for a time that was. Imagine my surprise when instead of a formal report from you and yours, I received a communication from one of the keywords, stating that research and operations were proceeding as usual. Well, Hephaestus' deception was almost childish in its simplicity. It became plain to me that your grasp of the situation was slipping. So you knew of his existence from the beginning. I can hardly imagine that you would suffer another to masquerade as one of the convocation, not without good reason at least. As you well know, the name La Habrea is but a marker of my station. 'Tis not the name I was born with. Hephaestus has claimed that for himself. I cannot fault him for it, as he is my other half, in a manner of speaking. He knows all that I know, my equal in every way, yet within his heart is naught but greed, envy, and desire, all the emotions that we're loath to acknowledge within ourselves. If what you say is true, what purpose would such a being serve? He is the product of experimentation gone awry, a reminder of days when I was young and reckless. I thought him sealed away for good, but it seems time is a way of unearthing the shame we bury. When he spoke of my mother, he looked at you with venom in his eyes, blamed you for her death. Tell me, was he right to do so? His words were but the ramblings of a tortured mind. The hatred and despair he endures has wiped his view of the world irreparably. And now that he has awakened, he must be put to rest. If he succeeds in breaching Pandemonium's protective wards, he shall invite disaster unto our star. As chief keyword of Pandemonium, it is my duty to decide the proper course of action. As such, I declare that all research shall be summarily abandoned and the facility destroyed. What? You would leave the other warders to their doom? 'Tis a choice befitting La Habrea. Do you disagree? You speak of duty, and ours is to guide our star and its inhabitants upon the correct course. It is no surprise that you would choose annihilation of Pandemonium if its existence posed even the remotest risk to our people. Yet, as you can see by Eric Thanios' response, the decision is somewhat more nuanced than that. Azem and I grappled with this conundrum for some time, in fact. That is precisely why I chose to involve myself directly. 'Twas the only way I could truly determine the best solution. And you need not trouble yourself with that further. The chief keyword must prevent the worst from occurring, no matter the cost. Your feelings, Elidibus, are of no consequence. Have you taken even a moment to consider another path? No? You've spared nary a thought for aught but yourself and your duty. You have no idea the trials we've endured, the foes that Celestria has stood against. Celestria, is it? A being of such aether as I have never seen. What are you? She is the guiding star that shall lead us safely through this. Thanks to her stout arm and steadfast courage, we have subdued the mythic creations and returned them to their cells. Speaking of which, I would hear your opinions, Celestria. As outsiders, we are in a unique position to look upon circumstances with our vision unclouded by attachment. What was it you said about being an emissary? I don't... Is that being sassy? Agreed. We still know next to nothing about Hephaestus, and I highly doubt La Habrea has been forthcoming with the truth. But we've managed to regain control of Asphodelos. He must be made to see that there's merit in continuing on this path. I have it. Speak in your official capacity as Elidibus, the emissary. Judge which approach is more sound, and even La Habrea would be compelled to listen. As Elidibus, I am duty-bound to assess the matter from a position of impartiality. My opinion as Themis can carry no weight. You understand what that means, yes? I do. Even so, you've walked with us all this time, seen what we've seen. Based on that alone, I trust that you'll find the best way forward. Very well, then in my capacity as emissary, I shall state my judgment. At present, there are merits both in destroying Pandemonium outright and in taking time to rescue its researchers, and neither is yet an impossible task. Therefore, I judge that the most measured choice would be to continue upon our present course. We delve into Abyssos, interring any mythic creations we encounter along the way. You have yet to witness Celestria's might and Erichthonius' resolve. I would ask that you see our full capabilities firsthand, only then decide if our endeavor is futile. If such is the will of the emissary, then I shall obey. However, if indeed I find your strength to be lacking, I trust there will be no objections to the immediate destruction of Pandemonium. You needn't worry about that. We won't fail. You are bolder than I remember. And you're even more tedious than I remember. Celestria, come find me when you're finished. Erechthonios is understandably frustrated, but if we are to conquer Abyssos, we must go forward with clear heads. Pray, lend an ear to his trouble, that their weight might be lightened. Oh, can I just walk through these now? I think these were closed before, weren't they? No. I was pretty sure these were walls beforehand, like the red swirling portals. Can I murder myself on the spikes? You do have my gratitude, ill-fit as I am to show at the moment. Without your words to sway him, La Habrea would have carried out his plan without a second thought. When at first we realized the creations had slipped their bonds, the other keywards did all in their power to restore order. Even though they could have chosen escape, they remained to aid their allies. I'm certain not a soul among them would wish to see this facility erased from the world, and they don't deserve to be abandoned simply for carrying out their duty. And besides, Hephaestus has secrets yet untold. Secrets that would be buried if Pandemonium were reduced to rubble. I mean to uncover the truth behind his words, the truth of my mother. While La Habrea was quick to dismiss his claims, I failed to see what Hephaestus would gain by fabricating such a story. All I was told of my mother's death was that she perished in an accident. No one would say more. It was almost as if they feared saying more, in fact. Even if it was not La Habrea that dealt the fatal blow, we've seen with our own eyes how quickly he can condemn others to die. I only wish to know at last what befell her. What do you think, Celestria? Does the La Habrea you know have any regard for the lives of others? Or will he carry out his duty with another's blood on his hands? He once used my ally as a vessel for his own twisted ends. What would possess him to do that? Even for La Habrea, such an act would be a black mark against him if it were made known. I can't imagine how much your ally suffered. But it is plain there is much to consider. Thank you, Celestria. It's easier for me to get carried away by emotion where he's concerned. We should focus on the task at hand, proving to La Habrea that we are capable of saving Pandemonium and its keepers. The most convincing way to do that would be to regain control of Abyssos. Although I'm loath to admit it, he would know more about the depths than any of us, and seeing as how we require every advantage we can afford. Celestria, would you speak to him for us? He seems to have a special interest in your capabilities, and may deign to help at your suggestion, if only to see what you can do. I like that him. It's like, yeah, he took control of one of my allies to come into our world and do shit. I don't really know what taking over Thancred's body gets him in A Realm Reborn anymore. Drink some water real fast. Erechthonios appears to have deep trust in you, and Elidibus tells me you share some relation with Azem. Your unusual aether does not mark you as a familiar. It is unlike anything I have seen, even among the countless concepts I have observed. To think that I would encounter an existence I could not create by my own hand, Azem never ceases to surprise. The previous Azem was much the same. In taking the entirety of the star into consideration, she came to hold dear emotions and people that her more logical mind would have discarded. This made her act in her own self-interest more often than not. Just as you and Elidibus have conducted yourselves in this manner, the true danger of Azem's nature is its tendency to infect all those she comes into contact with. Emixelt said much the same. Trust that I shall do naught that would violate my duty. And yet you so frivolously invoke your authority as emissary to justify this little excursion. It matters little, however. Only your deeds can speak for you now. You wish to know more of Abyssos, I take it? Although I no longer have control over many of its functions, I can yet sense what creations lie within. The chief keyword's reach is far indeed. Well then, what do we have to look forward to? I sense no creations of note. Perhaps they have been made into fodder for experimentation, or perhaps they have been transferred into the deeper circles. Yet Hephaestus would never allow you safe passage. He has left a trial for you to overcome. I speak of hegemony, keyword of Abyssos. Although her presence is stained with marks of corruption, is unmistakable. I knew her as a woman gifted in magic and blessed with a highly logical mind. While I can sense those qualities within her still, there is something else at work. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that it's because she's already been twisted into a Hematheus, doubtless against her will. Zelestria, Themis, we must rescue her from that cruel fate, and if we cannot, we can at least seal her away until we find the means to undo the damage. Your allies make you bold, Erechthonios. I very much look forward to seeing how far they carry you. Some sass going on there with the hands-on hit pose. Fuck you, Dad. I imagine these cues will be like the other one, yeah. Not instant, but close enough. Ooh. I kind of don't like that already. Jeez. This music is fucking banger. The only thing I have to say about that is it seems like she does the indicator for like the cones way too late after she marks which panels you can't be on. She's like, you have to go to one of the panels here or here, and if you pick wrong, I'm just going to fuck you with a cone. Feet, right? No, hands. I'm just going for a couple of the ones that require 2. I'm like, if I don't get the hands, I'm going to start needing on the other things and see what I get. But it seems that people do not want to roll on everything until they get what they want. People are just not rolling. They're like, I refuse to, Is it Bray? I think it's Bray. Yeah. Hands or feet, or feet or head next. We've won. The keyword is sealed away and alive this time. La Habrea can't deny us now. Erictanio seems eager to dispel La Habrea's doubts. Yeah, the music this tier is fucking great. I did not like the first tier. The first 4 circles, or the first 3 at least, with that weird like piano thing going on. I'm like, what is this? This isn't raid music. Our plan was a success, although I hardly need to tell you that. Hegemony has been sealed away, and now you have no choice but to admit the merit in our methods. You have the right of it. I am not so petty as to deny the achievements of those I've squabbled with, no matter how strongly we disagree. Moreover, this being, Aether is thin as retreating mist, unable to wield creation magics, yet powerful enough to subdue a Hemetheos, has made this ordeal far more interesting. Then we have leave to continue. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the emissary, it's his word at this point. As for that, there is one among you whose very presence put the others at risk. 'Twould be best to proceed without him, for failure would have consequences that reach far beyond Pandemonium. And of whom do you speak? A warder who cannot even conduct his duty without aid in this place? Hope alone is not enough to overcome what awaits you. A single misstep will send all to their doom. So long as we each do our part and look to the allies by our side, even a neophyte can uprise his companions. That's something that Zelestria and Themis have taught me. While I do not wish to express any bias, I am inclined to agree. If my investigation has made anything clear, it is that we are together greater than the sum of our parts. And hope has brought us this far. It drives us to seek the right path and to act before the path lies closed to us. Then tell me, what is it you hope for? To see Hephaestus in chains. That's the surest way to prevent further sacrifices. I'm aware that destroying Pandemonium would rid us of him, but the cost is far too great. And I admit, I wish to know more how he means to resurrect Athena. And there we have it. You must leave this place at once, and do not think to set foot in Pandemonium again. You are capable, that much is plain. Yet Hephaestus cannot be suffered to live, and I shall not allow this talk of resurrection to poison mine or anyone else's mind. Life flows in a cycle, that is known. All souls return to the underworld, and Athena is no exception. She has likely found a new vessel, and a new journey to embark upon. You cannot be ignorant to the folly of Hephaestus' words. Even were he to breathe life into a body, the soul contained within would not be your mother's. What if our knowledge is imperfect? What if Hephaestus has discovered something that no one else has? He knows all that you do, understands the bitter reality of the world. He wouldn't pursue the impossible. Think, Erechthonios. I have already explained that he is merely my twisted reflection. Is it worth bringing back your mother if it means others are used and discarded like tools? Is it worth it to see her once more? Now you measure the worth of your colleagues' lives. What was that foolish braying about saving them? Merely a performance to hide your childish devotion to your mother. Please, such barbs will get us nowhere. We should first discuss... I assume you just... yeah. You would call me fool? You, who murdered your wife in service of your ambition? For the sake of the star, no doubt. I can hear it again, that voice inside my head. I know who to follow. Hephaestus. Father. Mother, oh, I love you so, and this voice will guide me to you. No, listen not, Erechthonios. Apologies, you taught me that a calm heart stays the course, but I could never even grasp the rudder. Why go straight into another cutscene? Let's have it continue. Hephaestus is cunning, despite his warped mind. Whatever took hold of Erechthonios, it made short work of his reason. From the moment he laid eyes upon me, I could sense his hatred and rage simmering below the surface. 'Twas but a matter of time until it spilled forth, and that was where he fell into the spell's embrace. A magic woven with such skill that Erechthonios himself failed to notice it until it was too late. If this is the measure of Hephaestus' power, then the other keyboards had little chance to resist it. We saw his work during our encounter with Hesperos. Doubtless, Hephaestus' magics fed his admiration and envy until there was room for naught else in his heart. And there was something else besides. Did you not feel the presence of another? As I thought, someone was trying to warn Erechthonios, but whom? Could it have been one of the keywords? Alas, their warning arrived too late. I had already provoked Erechthonios past the point of no return. I bear the burden for his failure. In my stubbornness, I could but scorn the boy, and Hephaestus knew that. And now I dread to think of the ordeal that awaits him due to my rashness. There is time yet to save him. We can easily regain control of Abyssos, giving us a firm foothold by which to to brave Pandemonium's lowest level. The enemy is within reach. Just as with Hesperos, Erechthonios is in danger of being consumed by Hephaestos' spell. However, I have faith that he will not easily lose sight of himself. The way forward is clear, La Habrea. Pray tell us what you know, and we shall find. What you know of what we shall find beyond Abyssos. I can only assume one more keyword lies in wait. The deepest level of Pandemonium is called Tartaros, and your passage shall be challenged by only a keyword. Hephaestos has laid traps in every corner of its halls. You have no hope of surviving far past the threshold. That is, I expect, is where Zelestria shall shine. Her dissolute aether shall allow her to slip through the traps unimpeded. We saw it when Hephaestos had no effect, and doubtless even he has yet to devise a countermeasure. Then time is of the essence. Hephaestos is already well aware that you can match a keyword in battle. He will not stand idle while you stroll past his other defenses at your leisure. Agreed. However, clarity will be indispensable for our success, and I'm afraid I must insist upon it ere we depart. What the fuck is an Abyssos? We have yet to discern to what end Hephaestos would use Erechthonios. If you know, I would ask that you enlighten us. And then there is the matter of Athena. Why do you so fiercely rebuke Erechthonios' feelings for his mother? While I understand the very thought of resurrecting the dead is anathema, you act as if grief over her passing should be equally so. How are we to grapple with what plagues our friends and drives our foes if you refuse to acknowledge it? I do acknowledge it. I wish only to spare those that feel its still greater pain. So instead of being honest, you bicker like a child. I feel like that's kind of a Y'shtola line there. How dare you? No, you are right. The blame for Erechthonios' fate rests squarely on my shoulders. Very well, I shall lay bare the truth, but only after the foe before us has been laid low. The remaining keyword is... God, that is a name. Agdistis? Agdistis. She has served in Pandemonium since its inception, and her affinity for magic is peerless even among the keywords. Hephaestos knows that losing her would mean the end of his experiments. He has hidden her in a space unreachable by conventional means. But your presence makes mockery of such barriers. The scarcity of your aether means it will be trivial to send you directly to Agdistis. We shall approach as closely as caution will allow. We know where the battle will commence, so I do not anticipate difficulty in detecting your presence. From afar, I shall do my best to provide you with ground on which to fight, and phantom allies to aid you. As for the internment, I have yet to think of a foolproof method. Internment shall not be necessary. From here I can sense Agdistis' essence, but it is scarcely recognizable. Hephaestos was more ambitious with her than he was with hegemony. She has been transfigured, such that barely a scantling of herself remains. We can but take comfort in what a mercy the underworld will be to her. So am I just fighting people in this one? This one was just the carbuncle, a keyword, another keyword, and then Hephaestos? That's what it sounds like. I'm kind of upset that my food is not lasting at all between these, even though the fights are only like 10 minutes. I'm spending like 20 in cutscenes. See if they got another banger for us. The first two were good. Oh, he just put a fucking magic circle there, huh? Oh, God. I can see why they're like, yeah, that's not coming back. Oh my god, that hitbox. What the fuck? I am not getting healed. there goes the other healer. We need our res mage to do the thing. Oh, that was angled trying to get off. I was trying to angle slightly to the side of the fucking... the bird. music for this tier is banger, man. It is great. My only issue there is that I tried to angle myself slightly to the side of where the bird was, and I ended up being slightly knocked off. Like, I honestly can't even believe that that one knocked me off of the platform. Like, the issue here is that I have the hands, and there are no feet. And I didn't win the head. Someone got a 54. So I'm gonna have to come back and do this one again. Feet did not drop, and there was only one head, and I didn't win it. The moment Abyssos was slain, the flow of aether and pandemonium focused keenly on this location, creating a tunnel of sorts through which we could quickly convey ourselves. 'Twas almost as if we were ushered here. This space was created with care and concealed with powerful wards. Only a keyword would have been able to detect it, and even with that great difficulty, ergo. If only I could restore Tartaros to order, but I am afraid this is the most I can manage with such power as remains to me. It has been too long, Master La Habrea. Likewise, keyword Abyssos. I should not be surprised you were able to break free of Hephaestos' spell, even diminished as you were. 'Twas not an easy task. Even with your aid, his curses dig into one's heart, creating a storm of emotions that is all too easy to become lost in. Only by chance did a fragment of myself remain, illuminating a path for the madness. And thus I am able to appear before you now. Even while my body was powerless to resist Hephaestos' commands, some small part of my logical mind soon stood alone in defiance. It even managed to speak to the outside world. The report, that was you? Doubtless you recognize my voice from the many times I have called out to you. The hope that those pleas would not fall on deaf ears was all that kept me from succumbing to the hopelessness. But I have a greater purpose here than simply saying my farewells. There is something you must know, that the tragedies of the past do not repeat in the present. Forgive me for what I am about to do, Master La Habrea, but the story must be told. 'Tis the only way to understand Hephaestos' fixation on Erechthanios. No longer can you hide your heart away. Hephaestos? No. The mask marks him as La Habrea. Master La Habrea had brought an end to Lady Athena's life and sealed away a part of his memories and emotions within Hephaestos. These are my recollections of the moments following. And you truly have no intention of revealing the truth to Erechthanios. My lesser half is now buried where none can find it. We would be wise to do the same with our memory of this day. Blood should not sway the spirit. So, but Athena's teachings have warped the boy. I fear he would see our star burn to keep his mother safe. Erechthanios believes that he feels love, but he is shackled by dependence. He could not bear the truth. His dependents make it all the more important to be open with him. He will seek answers about his mother's loss. which shall inevitably lead him to you. Are you willing to accept the blame for Athena's death? Are you willing to accept your son's hatred? If that is what comes to pass, then so be it. Better to be burdened with hatred than the knowledge that Athena thought this boy and soul mere tools to be used and discarded. Even were I to tell him that his mother plotted, he would ever seek reasons to believe that the true fault lies with me, or with him. Should he merely hate me, he will return unfettered by doubt, free to serve the star from his parents' shadow. So she was like pampering him because she was gonna use him for experiments? Erechthonios loved his mother more than life itself, and yet, what a dreadful truth you've borne all this time. Such is La Habrea's nature. Every action, every word is a solution to life's great dilemmas, and none to spare for his own. What I have revealed to you is but a small portion of a larger picture. I shall leave it to La Habrea to paint the rest for you, and for Erechthonios, I hope. Thank you, Abyssos. I always admired you, you know. What choice did I have when you sacrificed so much to guide our star to the heavens? Hephaestus has doubtless sensed that his final keyword has fallen. We should return to the surface before he moves to strike us here. If we are to face him, we must be prepared to bring our full strength to bear. Aegystus was ever a bold woman, even in her final moments, that she would unearth the secrets of my past for all to look upon. Still, full glad am I that she faced you as her last opponent. I could think of none more worthy to send her soul off to the other side. La Habrea would speak further of Athena's fate. The vision you saw told the story far more eloquently than I ever could. Athena was consumed by her research and was willing to sacrifice her own child if it hastened her progress. She did not offer him a position here out of a sense of love or pride. 'Twas merely because she knew he would be the most pitiable test subject, or pliable test subject. I see now why you hid the truth from him. I cannot say that with certainty that Erechthonios could handle the weight of such betrayal, after holding his mother on a pedestal for so long. Unfortunately, it seems not even her death has ensured his safety. Hephaestus has taken up Athena's research and succeeded in creating Hemithoi, I guess. I know not what his ultimate end is, but 'tis plain it is connected with the resurrection of Athena. That knowledge alone is sufficient to direct our next course of action. As for the rest of your story, we shall hear it after we have returned Erechthonios to safety, in accordance with Aegyssus' last wish. Very well. I can, at least, assure you that finding him shall prove relatively simple now that Hephaestus can no longer bend Pandemonium to his will. There is but one place left for him to find refuge, the Black Heart of Tartaros, where Athena built her testing compound. We can assume that Hephaestus will offer fierce resistance. I must focus my every effort on securing a safe means of approach. La Habrea, I would ask that you assume the duty of summoning Zelestro's phantom warriors. I have no objections. My ability to fight with Tataros would be greatly diminished in any case. However, I wish to deal the final blow to Abyssos myself. There is no need to dirty your hands with such a deed. I take it, then, that you have no intent to seal him away as before. The presence I felt when I encountered Abyssos bore little resemblance to the entity I created. By his own hand, he has become something far more wicked, and the same magics that once shackled him may very well shatter before the power he wields. On my pride as a researcher, I am loath to repeat the same mistake twice. I would not see these events play out again, and so he must be extinguished. Well then, I shall open the way forward. May we finish this together. They got a minion drop, right? I wonder what the minion drop is. Oh, that one was actually instant. Yeah, my food should last long enough. 12-ish minutes to get through the fight. As long as we don't wipe. Most of the groups have been very close. Gonna give us an upgraded version of the song. It already sounds fucking great, but they usually give us a little bit something different.
Ericthonios is mine, heart and soul, and with your death, none will be left to stop me.
Perfect imperfection. I'm assuming you've got crafted here, because that is a lot of HP.
Rest eternal in the dark depths of this prison. From fulgent flame my servants rise. Out of my sight! Leave naught but ash in your wake. Let seep sorrow into your heart. I tire of this farce.
Oh, I don't like the waiting.
Behold the fruits of sacrifice. You are prey to be consumed. flames embrace. Go forth and sate your boundless hunger.
It looks like nobody got that mechanic.
Potent flame my servants rise. Let seep sorrow into your heart. I shall see my wish fulfilled.
Oh god, what the fuck?
Sheer flesh from bone. But ash in your way. A fitting death. Behold the fruits of sacrifice. You are prey to be consumed. Perish in flame's embrace. Go forth and sate your boundless hunger. Molten flame my servants rise. Out of my sight! wish fulfilled. You will know my rage.
I like the music in the first 3 fights more. Oh, wind up Ericthonios. I probably rolled shit. 21. Why am I rolling shit on anything I want? Hey, I got the greaves. So I need the feet from the other fight then, so that I can get 2 pieces. The chain of events that led to this moment began with my error. When out of mercy I confined you here, now I break it and leave no trace of you behind. This is not over. I see you will not go peacefully. Even a cast-off would uphold his pride, though such an impulse must speak to the overwhelming arrogance of my other half. The name Hephaestus shall grow to eclipse yours. None shall remember the deeds of La Habrea once I fulfill Athena's ambition and bring Ericthonios' dream to life. And speak as if you care a whit for the boy? Why then do you cower behind him? There are some desires which must not be realized. Athena would see the world destroyed if it meant she could find hers in the ruins. As for Ericthonios, he knows not what his wish would beget. A truth which you have hidden from him. Do you truly believe a father's role is to deceive and manipulate? You would claim the name Hephaestus as call yourself his father, yet you bind his mind and body in dark chains. Your word and your pride ring hollow. Athena wanted her son by her side, and he desires to return there. What wickedness is there in mending a broken family? Athena cared not for Ericthonios, beyond how he could serve her ends. You claim to be acting in his interest, but 'tis plain you are no different. As I ushered Athena to her end, I vowed that my sole mission in life would be to guide this star true. In service to that vow, I silenced the whispers of my heart. I could not nurture a son whilst the entire world looked to me for guidance. For that choice, I bear the responsibility. Yet he is still my son, and I will not suffer you to seduce him with false hope. You, who are not but the bitter dregs of Athena and I, the very worst of us. Mother, no. Then who, how do I? hear you. I owe you and Themis an apology. Athena, did you ever? And La Habrea, I will have my say. I want to just turn around and punch him or something. How? His mind was mine. I can't explain. Her words reach me through this haze. They rang loud and clear, as did the words of another, in a voice much like yours, but resounding with truth. How? When did you master these bonds? Oh, we've been turned much worse. You worthless! You! Ah! It appears my failures have borne fruit after all. You did well, son. With Hephaestus' essence contained in this crystal, we may safely return Erechthonios above, but he would bind Hephaestus with only half his senses intact. You quite understand his adeptness in the art of internment. It was hardly what I had in mind, but a feat deserving of praise nonetheless. Still nines. Still nines. Why are you giving me nines? I feel no trace of Hephaestus' poison in your mind, and for a blessing it appears your body is none the worse for wear. I made my way here as soon as I could. I no longer sense Hephaestus, and the force assailing Pandemonium's barriers has ceased. Are we rid of him for good and all? I see. Despite his muddled senses, Erechthonios felt that to seal Hephaestus away was the proper course. It wasn't so noble as that. I only knew something had to be done, so I acted. La Habrea, was that how you dealt with Hephaestus in the past? Indeed, he was not but the parts of my memory and soul that I had cut away, a mass of aether without a material vessel. Storing his essence within a crystal was the most logical choice. On that matter, I believe the time has come for you to share the rest of your tale, of Hephaestus' creation and Athena's end. I heard your words, but only vaguely, as if from under a surface of a deep pool. My mother wished to use me? I would hear the whole truth. I want to know what happened here, and what drove Athena to act as she did. I'm ready. Athena's brilliance outshone us all. Even the other members of the Words of La Habrea were as children in comparison. So dedicated to research was she that it was not unheard of for her to forget meals or even sleep. Her mind was ever grasping for knowledge, and it was in the endless search that she became obsessed with uncovering the secrets of life. You see, while we can conceive life in various forms, the means of creating a soul are beyond our ken. Simply, though we can enhance and alter our physical vessels, we have ever been bound to them. Athena's purpose was to shatter these limitations. Such limitations as we were not meant to surpass. She sought to enter the realm of the gods. Scarce few have the ability to comprehend what such a task entails, let alone the courage to attempt it. For most, the thought would be an idle fancy, considered once and then discarded. Not so for Athena. As leader of the Words of La Habrea, I spoke with her often about transcending our being. From the academic perspective, the challenge has plagued countless researchers through the ages. It was during these musings that I began to formulate a theory, a means by which a person could meld with the creation. The weaknesses of the one would be mitigated by the strengths of the other, and the result could be something greater than we had ever imagined. Although it was but a theory, Athena insisted I develop it further, curious about every detail along the way. Our conversations became more frequent, and our platonic relationship grew into something much more. I take it I was born not soon after. Just so, I believe she bore true affection for me and was blind to her hidden intentions. When Pandemonium was built and she requested to lead the researchers, I saw no reason to deny her. Even setting aside our relationship, her accomplishments as a scholar made her the most obvious choice. However, in giving her Pandemonium, I also gave her free rein to conduct whatsoever experiments she could devise. And when you found out what she was doing, you killed her. I made haste to Pandemonium the moment I learned of these hidden chambers. I left Agdistus to keep watch from Tartaros vestibule as I ventured deeper, knowing not what would await me. As for what occurred next, 'tis best to see with your own eyes. Is that me? You are well aware that our respect of our neighbors in Elpis, the researchers of Pandemonium, are not to be masked. Yet you stand before me with your face covered. What petty defiance is this? What indeed? So quick you are to rebuke me, though you yourself have not set foot in these halls since their inception. You must have known you could not conceal this from myself and Agdistus forever. As well, you know that I cannot allow it to continue. I shall say this but once. Release Arcthanios, else I shall have no choice but to strike you down. I would meet my end at the hands of none other. However, ere my time has come, I will have you know the why of it. Then you will not desist. Once you understand what has driven me this far, you shall see that stopping was never an option. The feelings of one weigh little against the needs of the entire star. Of course, of that I am well aware, but you did not deign to descend from your lofty heights simply to lecture me as you would a child. You have an interest in my motivations, what possessed Athena, peerless researcher and mother to the son of the great La Habrea, to embark upon the path of her downfall. History will demand an answer, but it is you who deserves one. Give me your hand, La Habre, and we shall know one another more deeply than ever before. I didn't click on that. I'm wondering why you... Impossible. You bonded your souls? Aye. That the boundaries between us would cease to be, she offered me everything, to be understood. I found myself unable to refuse at that moment. My mind was a storm of questions, yet one word the loudest. Did Athena ever truly love me? I am become thee, memory and mind. And I thee. Can you feel it? My heart, all that I am. Yes, as if it were my own. A fathomless desire to dissect the mysteries of life, to transcend our mortal flesh and bleed into a higher plane of existence. An unquenchable thirst for knowledge, not a single thought spared for another, for the star. How disappointing. Yet what is known cannot be unknown. You have beheld my life's work. Try as you might to excise the memory, the seed of desire remains, and when it takes root, you too shall be consumed by the self-same fervor. I will dig it out. I will dispense with the corruption in my soul ere you rotten insight spreads. 'Twas my weakness that let this wickedness fester, but never again. Today I cast aside fickle emotion, and abide in duty alone. Today I renounce all that I was, and live only as La Habrea. Thus did I forsake the part of myself that had been polluted by Athena, sealing it within a crystal. Never did I think I would one day face those memories made flesh. Forgive my bluntness, but your actions bounded on insanity. To go to such lengths to escape your memories, you nearly rewrote your very existence. Rest assured, the change did not go unnoticed by our colleagues in the convocation. Just know, and Emmett Selk in particular made plain the suspicions they harbored. As well they should have. That you escaped with your life was nothing short of a miracle. Why didn't you destroy the crystal then and there? Did you think to one day make use of the knowledge it contained? I will not deny such considerations played into my decision, but my main motivation was fear. I had never attempted such a feat before. The crystal was my sole recourse, should something go awry with the remainder of my soul. In hindsight, to cling to it was a mistake, born of doubt. Athena must have anticipated that I would resort to such measures, and prepared a vessel beforehand that would accept the dregs of my soul. Hephaestus doubtless believed that he was performing his duty as a husband and father should, yet in truth he was but a puppet being pulled to and fro by Athena's desires. His goal was not to raise himself high. He thought only of seeing his dear Athena again, that she might finish what she began. Yet for all of that, he and I were alike. We yet shared a fatal flaw, you see. Our need for control blinded us to other perspectives. While I was enthralled to Hephaestus, you called out to me. What say you now? Does La Habrea speak true? Yep. That was an accidental click, and I don't think there's a way to go back. The La Habrea I knew had a fatal flaw, after all. I'm still not convinced. I have said all that I can say. Now it is for you to choose whether to believe me or not. The La Habrea I know holds duty above all else. I would sooner prostrate myself before an erupting volcano than place my fickle emotions in its path. When you return to the surface, you'll doubtly don that mask once more, so before we climb out of this forsaken pit, I suppose I should say, yeah. Thank you, Abyssos. I've heard enough. There is more I would yet discuss, but we should first return to Pandemonium's gates. I'll gather my thoughts on the way. I owe you an apology, Celestria. It was due to my own inexperience that Hephaestus was so easily able to take hold of my mind. I also owe you thanks. If you and Themis hadn't chosen to brave the chaos occurring in Pandemonium, then I would have never known La Habrea's story, my father's story. 'Twas a tale I too was fascinated to hear. I very much look forward to speaking with Azem upon my return. I cannot help but wonder how much of this she foresaw. I am afraid I cannot allow that, Elidibus. So long as you retain control of Pandemonium, there is work to be done. But of course, I shall first free the remaining warders and restore the place. Using the facilities in Tartaros, we should be able to reverse the changes made to their bodies and minds. I shall stay behind to oversee the process. This is well, but I must yet learn why I was considered the key to Hephaestus' experiments, and how he intended to revive Athena. Such questions are best left unanswered. In fact, I forbid the pursuit of that knowledge. The boundary between man and creation shall never again be crossed. And I intend to destroy the crystal containing his essence, that this mistake never again repeats. I see no reason to gainsay your judgment. There is yet the matter of your crystal, however. Truth be told, I had not considered its origins until I saw the one containing Hephaestus' neighbor. I was struck by how wholly different they were. There is another. Don't I literally just have a Zem's crystal or something? While imbuing a crystal with memories is a simple process, storing a message, a warning even, would be something altogether more complex. This also means that someone besides the present company and Azem was aware of the plot unfolding within Pandemonium. Then why would they not make themselves known? Even now, no threats remain. Perhaps it was one of the other warders. We shall question them after they are freed. The task may take some time, a resource I'd rather not steal more from you. Return at your leisure, and we will share our details or results then. You've done more than enough for the time being. I am of the same mind. Leave the loose ends to us and continue upon your journey, or if you are so inclined, take much-needed repose. This talk of journey smacks of Azem. As well it should. She has pledged to keep moving until she has seen every corner of the world. If you do not find yourself with a spare moment, you might bring that crystal of yours to La Habrea. You may be able to offer further insight. Until then, my friend. Go back to Euphoria. Man, the story for this is pretty good. And for raids. Why are we fighting this guy? Well, here's a pretty good fucking story reason. Why? If it isn't Zelestria, excuse me if I'm not my usual chipper self, but we have not been without our difficulties in your absence. You see, communication with the airship Professor Claudian commissioned for his search was lost some time ago, and now we have quite lost track of where he might be. And to make matters worse, NMGG has sent word of an unusually large amount of energy coming from somewhere within the ethereal sea. I was just on my way to the Ateoscope. In fact, please, you must come with me. Is that part of the other... is that part of the 13th? What the fuck? No, wait, is that Abyssos? Or not Abyssos, but the other raids? Just Pandemonium. Is that Pandemonium? Why is it that whenever danger visits the world, you are never far behind? I'm here to fucking save it from danger, bitch. That's why. And you two, Professor Claudian's assistants, I take it? As you arrive before me, I take it that you were involved in this. I would thank you to furnish me with an explanation. I just got here, damn it. Yeah, it's Pandemonium. Do the savages happen here? That'd be kind of weird. While the research summary you submitted to the forum gave us no cause for concern, these details are alarming. The professor's last message indicated that he was on his way to Abyssos La, but we know not whether he ever reached his destination. A rash endeavor, even for Claudian, but he has ever allowed the thrill of discovery to cloud his better judgment. We have no recourse but to entreat Ishgard's aid in searching for him. As for that unsightly fortress which materialized in the ethereal sea, Pandemonium, was it? It cannot be left alone. For the time being, information regarding this matter must be strictly controlled as to minimize the panic. We will gather those with knowledge of the ethereal sea and continue monitoring it for further irregularities. You two submit a detailed report to the forum at once. At present, we have far more questions than answers. Nevertheless, I would ask for your assistance. Very good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must apprise the forum of what has occurred here. just when you need him most, Professor Claudian remains unaccounted for. He even brought the crystal with him. We are left with scarce few straws to grasp at. While I am but a lowly assistant, even I can see that our two current problems are likely related. The same party or phenomenon may be responsible for both. Conversely, I see now that my inexperienced imagination failed to do Pandemonium's pitiless spires justice. I can only wonder, if the facility itself traversed the ages, did the creations within do the same? What of the keywords? But answers to these questions shall come in time, I am sure. For now, I must do as Master Fortunat asked and write that report. As for you, Zelestria, pray get what rest your responsibilities will allow. When next we call upon you, I wager we shall need you in prime condition. And I'm assuming that's the end of whatever's going on. I can't carry anymore. I have too many fucking rank 9 materials because they're dummies that are giving me rank 9 materials. I guess I'm just gonna throw. I'll probably try to do whatever the thing is where you make materia and different materia later. Like I'm kind of annoyed that they're giving me rank 9s. Like, how long has 6.0 been out? Little over 8 months or something like that. Like, why are you giving me rank 9s in quests? It just seems stupid. Like, I guess they're assuming I'm gonna pentameld something, but I'm not even sure I want to make the crafted gear unless Savage requires that I have like 605 or something item level to get in there. And the ones I chose probably won't be best. I didn't look into what their stats would be. I just decided, like, am I gonna go for the accessories, or am I gonna go for like shoes, hands, head? So I have hands, but I don't know what stats they have. Crit debt. That's actually gonna be the best for starting raids then. And what about the shoes? Because I think I got one of those, didn't I? Yeah. Crit dead on the shoes. Oh no, that's that was the earring. Skill speed tenacity. That's not going to be very good. Crit debt would have been on the helm. I wish I had gotten that one, but I think I rolled a 50 and or no, I rolled a 20 and someone rolled a 50. Whatever. Well, I figured it would take a couple of hours to do the raid story because I think that's what it was in when 6.01 or something. I don't think raid came out the same time, did it? It was like shortly after. But I'm gonna call it for the night. And then tomorrow, get back to some Palace of the Dead. At some point I'll try to get the other shoes so that I can at least get the upgrade. I might not use it for tank, I guess, since it's not going to be like the better part of the stats. It doesn't have crit. It's got skill, speed, determination. That's going to be me signing off for the night. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you guys tomorrow.